Good to see you. I'm excited to chat. We'll just jump right in to the question. So to start, could you introduce yourself and share a little bit more about your background in product leadership?
Sure. I'm Shannon Boon. I'm the new VP of Product at Venturous. And I have spent the last 20 years, over 20 years in product. I've been lucky enough to work on some really well-known brands in the past and a variety of products, including platform products like identity and communication, as well as some really large consumer experiences like Indeed's homepage and search, as well as some emerging technology around things like responsible AI. And the common thread of all of this is that I'm really attracted to companies that build relationships between different people, which is why I'm so fortunate to be coming to Venturous.
Perfect. That ties actually right into what I was going to ask you next is what drew you to join Venturous as our VP of product and what excites you the most about this role?
Yeah, so what really attracted me was the mission. So helping companies find the right leaders really has a ripple effect. It impacts the company culture, it impacts talent at the company, and it really drives business outcomes. Um, Venturous is at a pivotal moment. We're building not just a marketplace, but we're really building a platform that can scale in really smart and sustainable ways. And I'm really excited to be part of that and to create real value for both companies and leaders in our marketplace.
So you've led product organizations at some of the world's largest platforms like Indeed. What excites you the most about moving forward in big tech environments to a more entrepreneurial setting like Venturous?
Yeah, in bigger companies, I learned to quickly scale products with a lot of rigor and discipline, and I'm excited about bringing some of that to Venturous. But I'm also really excited about being closer to the product, to be able to experiment really quickly, to move fast, and to see the impact of product decisions immediately. It feels like kind of the best of both worlds. Really being able to tap into creativity with also the foundation to scale a business.
How do you envision product playing a role in scaling like you're talking about Venturous over the next few years?
Yeah, I see product really as the engine to scale Venturous. Our job is to make our experience both seamless and trusted in our marketplace so that both candidates and companies will come back again and again. Over time, I feel like product can build that experience from individual matches into long-term relationships powered by AI, powered by data, and really that's how we're going to create differentiation in the marketplace.
In the marketplace, what trends in product development or innovation do you think leaders should be paying attention to right now?
I think, everybody's talking about AI and leaders should be paying attention to that. But I do think AI can be used beyond just efficiency. Using AI responsibly can help build trust and transparency in the marketplace, which we know is what both companies and candidates really want. The second thing is, I think what we've seen lately is the marketplace is moving out of a more transactional relationship with customers and moving into more trusted relationships between the two parties in the marketplace. And that's kind of what I was referring to earlier in terms of building these long-term relationships. And I'm so excited that Venturous is really leveraging both of these ideas, both in using AI responsibly as well as evolving a marketplace. It's a really exciting time.
Looking back at your product career, what is the most important lesson you've learned about building products that people actually use and love?
Um, I think one of the most important lessons that I learned really early on in my product career was that you have to go beyond what customers are telling you they want. Um, when I was first building a product at Sabre, which was kind of early Travelocity at the time, I was building a product for travel agents, and at the time, online travel agents were on the rise, and travel agents were, really scared about the threat that they would pose. And I built a product around a new online experience for travel agencies. And what I didn't anticipate was really the fear that would impact the usage of that product. And so, I think the lesson for me was that, real product success comes from not just understanding what customers could use and what would be better for them, but also understanding how products make customers feel.
Indeed, your mission was to help people get jobs. Here at Venturous, the focus is on helping companies find leaders. How do you see those missions connecting?
Yeah, I think on the surface, you take a look at them and you think, oh, these are two sides of the same coin, right? In terms of like at Venturous, we're really looking at uh, how we're helping customers connect with leaders who can change teams and cultures, as we talked about before. At Indeed, it was more about how do we help job seekers find opportunities. These things are related in terms of like they're both about people. They're both about finding fit and really expanding what companies can do and what opportunities that individuals and candidates have.
What's one thing people might be surprised to learn about your career journey?
Yeah, well, I've been in product for a really long time, but a lot of people don't know that I was a chief of staff for a while. It was a really interesting experience, and it taught me it taught me so much more about executive decision making and alignment than any MBA class did. And I think about that a lot, and it really shaped how I led product coming out of that experience. I will say that the chief of staff experience is really interesting. When I was interviewing for the role, the chief of staff for the CEO at the time told me, this job is very interesting. One day you will be running an international, highly strategic, board important project for the, billion-dollar company. And the next day you will be sourcing a sweater. So, it's a wide variety of things. It taught me about how, not just how to execute, but really how to motivate people at all levels of the organization.
Is there a book or podcast or resource that has had a lasting impact on how you work or lead?
When I was working, I was lucky enough to work for IMDb years ago, and I was really struggling at that point in my career. And the founder gave me a book called What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And it really changed the way I thought about acceleration in my career and moving up in my career. And it, the lesson was, all the things you've been doing, those are great. But just doing all the things you've been doing is not going to get you to the next level. You really have to learn new skills, and you really have to put these things in practice. And that lesson has stayed with me, and I think it's also one I've tried to pass down when I mentor other product people. As a senior product manager, doing better at the senior product manager level is not necessarily going to get you promoted. What gets you promoted is learning how to lead and learning how to delegate, and learning how to have executive presence with leadership. So, it's about picking up new skills and not just continuing to hone the ones you already have.
What habits or routines help you reset and recharge outside of work?
I wouldn't say that I necessarily have a strict routine, but I've learned that, simple things really make a difference to my day. Like taking a walk every morning really helps clear my head. Spending time with family, even things like being creative and cooking a meal, being fully present in those kinds of activities, they really help me reset and recharge.
That was all my questions. So thank you so much for today in this chat. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.